Kevin Elizabeth, wedding photographer based in San Diego, and today I am back after quite a long break. I've just been so busy with both of my businesses and wrapping up our condo remodel. If you have not seen that video, you should definitely go watch it. Several months went into the filming of that video. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking about when you should buy your wedding dress in relation to your wedding date, and when you should have your alterations. And it is very important that you try to get in as early as possible for your gown, whereas alterations you want a little closer to the wedding date. So when it comes to buying your actual wedding dress, if you are at least 6 months out from your wedding, then you will absolutely be able to do a special order wedding dress. Special order means that basically you try on a sample gown in the wedding dress boutique, and then they special order the dress in the size that is closest to you. Now, usually this does not mean that it is made exactly to your body. It is simply just ordered in the size that is the closest to your size. And when it does come to sizing, I always recommend, if they ever give you a choice between two sizes, that you make sure that you are sized a little bit above, just in case you need to take in for alterations. If you go too small, so if your bust is, for example, 36 inches and you decide to go with a dress that's 35-ish inches, it might be a little too small, and it's going to be a lot harder for the seamstress to make that a little bit larger. So it's always easier to size down in most cases. So special ordering a gown, you are going to want to do this at least 6 months before the wedding. Some designers, you might be able to do it 4 months before your wedding, but for the most part, when you start getting within 6 months, you are going to be more likely to incur a rush fee. Wedding gowns typically take 4 to 6 months to come in from the designer to the wedding dress boutique. It takes this long because there is a queue of all the brides who've ordered dresses before you, and then the time it takes to produce your actual gown. So it's not like the designer is just sitting around on their butts and then your order comes in, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna make their dress right now. They're constantly working on so many gowns, which is why it can take so long. Now again, like I've said, there are some designers who move a little bit faster, but for the most part, most gown designers are going to take 4 to 6 months, most likely 6 months. So I would recommend making sure that you get into a dress boutique well before 6 months from your wedding. And if you are currently right now more like 4 to 6 months out, do not be surprised if the dress boutique says that you are going to have to pay a rush fee. Sometimes this rush fee is $100, $150. Sometimes if you are wanting a super extreme rush, it might be more like $400 to $500. But if that is worth it to you and you want to special order a gown, then definitely go for it. Now, what if something like that is not in your price range and you are much closer than 4 months to your wedding? Well, then what you are likely going to have to do is purchase a sample gown. Now, this sample gown refers to the gown that's been tried on by brides in the wedding dress store to serve as a model that will then be custom ordered for the bride. So this sample is something that has been tried on. It is not new. You'd be the only bride wearing it on a wedding day, but it has been worn before, so it is not entirely new. You are buying it as is off the rack. Now, there are some bridal boutiques who are completely off the rack. My bridal boutique is mostly special order, but we do have a sample selection of about 40 gowns that are off the rack. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that most bridal sample gowns, I would say on average across the US, are going to be more like a street size 6 to 8, unless they have plus size samples. If you are not a 6 to 8, so perhaps if you're a 0, it is going to be a lot more challenging to be able to alter a sample gown off the rack to your body. And same thing, if you are larger than that size, you are definitely going to have to make sure that that boutique offers samples that are off the rack in your size. So that's just something to keep in mind. There are a few brands who can do really quick special order, like Beholden and some others. You would just have to Google in your area, but if you're trying to go to a more high-end boutique or average price boutique in your town, most likely it is going to be special order, and then they're going to have sample options. So make sure that you ask them what size those samples are if you are really close to your wedding date. So again, try to make it at least 6 months. 7 to 9 months would be better. Some people are like, oh, my wedding's 18 months away, let me go ahead and get my gown. And you can do that, but 18 months is a very long time, or 24 months is a very long time. It is highly likely that your vision could change within 6 months once you start getting closer to wedding plans. So I would actually recommend not shopping more than a year out unless you have always been somebody who, once you pick a style and a dress, you're going to love it and you're not going to change your mind. But most people might change their mind. Maybe your venue changes, or maybe your color palette or your overall style changes, and you want a dress that's going to be more suited to that. So that's why it could be a little risky to shop too early. And then when it comes to alterations, our head seamstress Mary always recommends that brides come in about 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding. Mary doesn't typically want to see brides before that because if brides are losing weight or changing up their exercise or their diet before the wedding, 8 weeks makes it so that you are at least as close as possible to your wedding day weight. Because what would happen, because a lot of brides are getting into fitness routines or trying to lose weight, maybe some brides are trying to gain muscle before their wedding day, but if you are doing it several months before your wedding and your body changes significantly between then and maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks before your wedding, you're gonna have to re-alter that dress. You're gonna have to basically start all over again. So that's why it is gonna be the safest to wait 8 weeks before the wedding. That said, if you are not planning on changing your body whatsoever, then you could definitely do it earlier. But if you are hoping to lose a little bit of weight or gain some muscle or anything like that, definitely try to time it 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding. That should be plenty of time as long as you have discussed this with your seamstress or your tailor. So that is the information. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be putting out lots more videos on wedding dresses over the next couple of weeks, maybe even the next 2 months. So if you guys did enjoy this, please let me know down below. If there are any suggestions or requests that you guys have for dress videos, I can film them in the shop or I can just film here and talk about it. I will see you guys next time. Bye!